Hello there, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Epileptic Gamer Podcast. I thought this would be a very, very fun thing to talk about because it is breaking news. The Activision Blizzard, after being so highly contested in almost every country you can known to man, you name it, someone probably contested it, has finally been acquired by Microsoft. That is big because not only did they say in the email they want to bring back Guitar Hero, which if they do, I'm in first in line to buy it, but two Sony icons are officially leaving them now. Wow, that is huge. Icon number one, which was arguably their Mario, when Mario was the biggest name in the company, is Crash Bandicoot. And there's even articles out there saying that they don't know if they will have another Crash Bandicoot game on the PlayStation 5. Wow. If you were to tell me in 2019, or even 20 years ago, say, no, Crash Bandicoot is never going to be on the PlayStation ever again, I'd laugh it off. But here we are in 2023, and it is no longer a Sony IP. It belongs to Microsoft. That is, in my opinion, probably one of the biggest things to happen in maybe the history of gaming. Because we haven't had, there's a bunch of requirements. There's been so many acquisitions. You name it, it's probably acquired. 303 Studios went to Sony, which I believe those were the original makers of Halo. And that was a big deal back then. But arguably not as big as now. Because there are so many. And the other icon, which is not as big as Crash, but still pretty big, is Spyro. Spyro the Dragon. And granted, these guys were already cross-platform. So they weren't exactly exclusives, but they were icons. They were mascots. You would go to a PlayStation Bowl for college football, you would see the Crash Bandicoot mascot. That's how big of a mascot he was. Then when they went cross-platform, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, they took over. But they are no longer going on. Ratchet and Clank is. But Sly, they have no plans on making. And Jak and Daxter, they're just kind of off the damn thing. You're not going to hear from Jak ever again. So the fact that they acquired this makes me, I don't know if I should be worried, but I think it's not a good thing that they are going to do just everything in general, because that's going to separate the player base. That's going to be a big, big blow to sales. Because if I'm a longtime Xbox player and I see Crash Bandicoot, oh, cool. But I want the original games. What's stopping me from not buying the PlayStation 5? Which is obviously something they don't want to have to do. You don't want to give Sony more sales. And then have to explain to Phil Spencer or whoever the fucking head of Microsoft is that, hey, remember how we acquired Activision and we got Crash and Spyro and all them? We didn't get the remakes. The remakes are still on PlayStation. People say that they're feeling the sting already. That, Starfield did good. So obviously, PlayStation's finally feeling the blow. No. Starfield did good. It did great. It's not as a big of a deal as, like I guess you can say, as Call of Duty, for example. But it was a big get. Because Starfield was announced on a PlayStation State of Play. Not a lot of people remember that. And for those that do, I'm impressed with your memory. But I remember seeing Starfield on that State of Play. I think it was that actually the same one when they announced the PS5, believe it or not. And I was thinking, this game looks extremely cool. I can't wait to play it. And then they bought it out. It's pretty interesting how far we've come in this situation. Because now I'm looking at all this. Like, you look at the list of Call of Duty, I think Diablo's in there, I could be wrong. And Spyro, Crash, all these things that have either been on PC or PlayStation. I know Guitar Hero was included, and Xbox wants to bring back Guitar Hero. I mean, wow. I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. But this is the end of an era, in my opinion. We may no longer get a new Crash Bandicoot or Spyro game ever on PlayStation. Don't know how to feel about that, to be honest, because that's weird. Crash has been this big name with PlayStation. He has been the guy. When you think of PlayStation, you think of Crash, or you most likely think of Tomb Raider. That's another one, which I don't know if they got. No, I don't think they got Tomb Raider. I'd have to look at the long list, but I don't have it pulled up on me right now. But they did get a lot, and the most notables for Guitar Hero, Call of Duty, which they agreed Call of Duty should be on there for the next, I think they said 4 or 5 installments. But what happens when that time runs up? That's not good. Because then PlayStation's losing out on a lot. That's when we should be worried. We shouldn't be worried now. PlayStation in no way is feeling any type of sting, as Game Rant or IGN is going to say. No. You got Spider-Man coming out. That's going to be a big get for them. It's October 14th. That comes out next week. And Spider-Man 2 is going to be great. Then you have so much other shit coming out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Baldur's Gate 3 just came out on PlayStation. I mean, you got a lot. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is not an exclusive, but I rest my case. A lot of shit's coming out on PlayStation that can hold them over. There is no sting being felt by PlayStation. They are not worried. They haven't thrown a Hail Mary. They don't need to throw a Hail Mary. And hell, Nintendo, even if there is a so-called sting being felt by Nintendo can go bankrupt, and they could just easily go into their safe and bail them out. That's how big Nintendo is. I am convinced that Nintendo will be the one to stick around forever. I am also convinced we will not see a new Xbox console next generation. And not even maybe a PlayStation console next generation, unless it's absolutely needed. Because we have such good technology now. So good technology. That I feel it's not needed. I feel that the Activision Blizzard deal is probably Microsoft's way of saying, we're good. We don't need anything else. We've acquired all of these IPs. A lot of them were PlayStation's. Example, Crash and Spyro, like I've been mentioning. And, well, I mean, yeah, that's all there is to it. Like, I'm trying to find the best way of saying it. But the best way I can say is, it's the end of an era for PlayStation. And it sucks. It sucks because you grew up with these games. You see how they evolve, and then it gets acquired by a new studio. Which, don't get me wrong, this means Microsoft and other players over there get to play it more. I am all for that. I am tired of exclusives. I think it separates people. I think, or even like yearly, like 1 year exclusive, then it goes to, no, it should go to everybody. PC ports, Last of Us Part 1, was terrible on the PC. Everything should be made for everybody at the same time. That's my personal stance about it. At least when it comes to icons like that. Obviously, you can't have like, I guess, obviously Horizon Zero Dawn, Halo. You can have some that are set apart, but not too much. It's a hard, complicated subject. I am not going to go into the legal version of it because this episode would be 40 minutes, and I like to keep my episodes under 15. But either way, long story short, Microsoft finally acquired everything, and they are in a prime position to either dominate the market, wipe out the market, and completely destroy every single IP known to man, or revitalize every single IP known to man. No matter what, next 3 years, keep an eye on Microsoft. Because, not even next 3, this generation, let's just go that this entire console generation, keep an eye on Microsoft. They are the ones to watch because they can either revitalize it, they can completely fuck it up in every way, shape, and form, or they can just dominate PlayStation and Nintendo and we'll never see them again. But that last option will never happen. There's too much in the works already. And granted, the Bethesda acquisition with Elder Scrolls and Fallout, which has been announced. Fallout 5 has been announced, but it's not coming out till after Elder Scrolls, which is probably still 6 years out. So we won't see Fallout 5 for another decade. That's great. That might hurt, but you never know. We could see stuff change. We could see a deal get struck. Anything can happen. No one thought they'd get Spyro and Crash, but here we are. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. My name is Jacob, as always, and you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.